Actually, I mean, I need to step back a little bit about this, because even before the release of 2020, Flight Sim 2020, we were already thinking about how we could bring some structure or some, let's say, experiential thing on top of the beautiful sandbox we were building. But the reality is that in order to finish 2020 on time and facing the complexity of building such experience, we had to shelve, those ideas. And that's the reason why when we did with Microsoft surveys after the launch of 2020 to see how people were reacting to the experience, and realized that all across the board, from hardcore simmer to gamers and to digital tourists, as we were saying, all across the board, number one was we want more goals, more purpose. It was it sounded like an encouragement for us to do what we wanted to do since the beginning, and it was cool. And so we've gathered the idea we had, but we also did the homework, trying what the community has sometime already done with different type of approach, what was possible to do or done in other type of games. Also be like curious and about what is it in real life for real, like. Lots of documentary exists about wings of the remote place, for example. I don't know how it's called in English. It's an English. Comment ça s'appelle? I forgot the name. I will try to find it back because it's so well known. It's an English TV show which really describes the life of being a pilot. But not the airliner pilot, like any other type of airliner pilot. There is something quite similar in French. Also, so all those things you realize, and sometimes you know it, sometimes you have no idea it was existing. All of that gave us a sort of good foundation to start to see how we could manage all of that, connect the dots, and make it great for every type of audience or every type of mood. What I'm meaning by this is what we have observed is like, yes, it was all across the board. We want more goals, but obviously you cannot give the same goals to an hardcore simmer who sims since 40 years, at the other side of the spectrum, to someone who actually don't really play video game, but has played to Flight Sim because of the beauty of the planet, So in one case you have a super hardcore, and in the other case they are not even really yet familiar with using a gamepad. You know what I mean? So you need to adapt to this based on the play. I mean the playfield? No, pas playfield. Playground. Yes. The playground we have defined previously. So, and again, I want to precise here the fact that sometimes we can be even in the same day, we can be one of those guys, Right. In one day you can be the hardcore simmer, as you can be the gamer, as we can be the digital tourist, because it's just so cool to find a giraffe in the middle of Africa, So it's a bit like, each time I use the same thing, but it's like none of us here wants to eat the same dish every day, It's a little bit the same thing we are. So taking all of that in account, we came back with those three big new experiential game mode, which are Career, Challenge League, and World Photographer. And what I like about it is to talk about World Photographer and Challenge League is we are not here talking about trainings, because we did training in the past in 2020. But who starts an experience by doing 64 trainings in a row, and then playing a sandbox without any real purpose except the fact that the mastery of flying a plane? So we like the idea that people will gonna learn by themselves doing tiny things, someone baby step after baby step. And typically, if you never played video game to really take this angle on the very extreme side of the spectrum, it's cool to do to take a picture of the, for example, Golden Gate, because it will smoothly teach you how the plane reacts and how to just move the camera, you know. Because moving the camera technically is, for some people, it's a concept, you know. They don't even know they can do it actually. And when suddenly they can do it and take a picture, they have learned something. And then, as I was explaining, they will soon discover that, oh my God, I can change the time of the day. You know, not every single game can do this. It's a typical flight sim sort of feature. And oh, I can change the time of the, I can change the weather. And I can even change the time, the moment in the month. That's the reason why some days the moon is there and some other days it's not. And you start step by step and to understand what is that stake in the game. And oh my God, we can have wind or not, extra. So, and when you ask someone to take a picture of the Golden Gate with the financial district behind it, you actually force the person to understand. So first it's cool because you learn something. Oh my God, okay, the Golden Gate is here and the financial district is there, and you know how, you understand better San Francisco. It's cool, but on the pure, on this layer of understand how the sim works, you actually doing this starts to understand, start to feel more comfortable on how the world is. I mean, your ability to represent yourself in the space is better. It's what I wanted to say. Sorry. Spatialization basically is better, and step by step you build something even unconsciously, and it's become better. I will switch to challenge because challenge is clearly more. You know, it checks the box for the gamer. Competitive, fast, snackable, leaderboards, etc. But so the structure of the game mode may sound gamey, but technically the planes that you are piloting in these game modes are true to life. It's the exact same plane you would use in free flight. I don't know if you have tried them, but the F-18 in the Grand Canyon is a big deal. I mean, you need to be skilled and to be a good pilot to actually even go to the end of the race. So doing this, because you know it's arcade-ish, it's fast, it's short. You will crash, and it's not an issue. You crash because it's hard, and so you get comfortable with it. And in the same time, you understand that a plane can stall, that a plane that goes fast do not have the same roll rate, extra. So you get more and more familiar with how a plane behaves in his environment, how a plane behaves depending of his speed, depending of the altitude, etc. So again, without any training yet, you are still building your ability to understand how the game works. And then there is the career. And even in the career, if I took the other extreme on the other side, if you have 40 years of flight simming behind you, of course you don't need to do most of the training because you already know how to land a plane, you already know how a turboprop works or how IFR works, extra. So you are going to be able to shortcut all those unnecessary training because you don't need them and go directly to the certification you want to do. And pretty fast you are going to unlock what you like the most. And after this phase, you are going to do everything you want in the career for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? So, but if you are a rookie, like you just started flight sim, you did a little bit, you took some pictures, you did a little bit of the challenge, and you start the career. The career can also completely work because. For example, if you want to understand better how to land the plane, there is trainings. which will allow you to understand this, at which speed you need to arrive, in which angle you need to arrive, how you get aligned, how the throttle allows you to not only manage your speed but also manage your altitude. All those little things which are really specific to aviation world, you're going to be trained to do it. And when you are going to have to pass your exam, because I don't know if you have noticed, but when you pass you have to pay to pass your exam, which basically means it's a bet. It's a bet. Am I good enough to actually pass the exam or not? And we like this idea because it's cool for the economy of the career, but also also because the mindset is different. Suddenly you want to be good at it, and your mindset to learn how to do it and to actually successfully do the exam puts a little bit of pressure, which is cool, and you actually learn also faster doing so.